welcome to Marni's Kitchen. Do I have an exciting dish in store for you today? I was very lucky to have the opportunity to interview Marshall Stone, and that'll be coming out in 2 weeks. To celebrate Cinco de Mayo beforehand, I asked him what his favorite Mexican dish was, and he responded chicken or steak enchiladas. And then I asked him, well, do you like margaritas? And he said, well, of course I like margaritas. Who doesn't like margaritas? I said, well, not everybody. No, we didn't really have that conversation. But he said, yeah, he's down with margaritas. Tonight I'm going to bring to you chicken enchiladas sauce, and then a side of roasted zucchini and mushrooms because I have them and have to use them up. And I have rice in the rice cooker, and we have black beans on the stovetop. And then I'm going to attempt my poor attempts at mixology. I'm going to attempt to make a margarita, but we'll see. I can always try. Okay, so for the enchilada sauce, I'm going to use 2 cups of chicken broth, a 1/4 cup of chili powder, and I actually measured this because you need to, because I happened to not put quite enough the last time, so I said, well, next time I'm going to measure it. You need oregano, garlic powder, a little bit of salt, cumin, ground cumin, and pepper. And then I also have a cornstarch slurry over there because I don't want to mess with flour and making the roux, so I'd rather do it this way. It's easier for me, and it thickens up nicely. So in the pot, you need a medium saucepan. I'm going to pour the chicken broth, and then I'm going to add my chili powder. I'm adding it all at once. A little bit of salt. Not much at all. Ground pepper. And believe it or not, I don't put ground mustard in this. This I kind of follow exactly, because it is true. It does taste different. Some cumin. Now, I might add a little more than the recipe calls for. A little bit of oregano. I found it interesting when I started researching all of these recipes that oregano is not just for pizza. It's used across all cultures. It's used in Asian cooking as well as Mexican cooking. So I thought that was pretty neat. So just a little bit, though. You don't want to make it too oregano-y. And then a little bit of garlic powder. I've got to be careful because this guy pours out. Okay. I'm going to take it over to my stovetop. I'm going to bring it to a rolling boil, and then I'm going to add my cornstarch. So I put it on slightly medium-high heat to get that rolling boil. It takes a little bit of time. It's just starting to come to a little bit of a boil, so a little bit longer. I'm going to stir it. It smells good. While the enchilada sauce is coming to a boil, I'm dicing the chicken to get it ready for the enchiladas. My sauce has come to a boil. So I'm going to add my cornstarch slurry. So I'm going to stir it again, stir it up. And I'm going to pour it in, and I'm still going to stir as I pour. And that should thicken it up a little bit. So now that I've added my slurry, I turned it down to a simmer, and I'm going to let that sit for a little bit, and it should thicken up. While that's happening, I have finished dicing the chicken, so now I'm going to move on to the vegetables. So I'm going to slice the onion, and then I'm going to also get the zucchini and mushrooms ready to go in the oven as well. The cornstarch slurry was about 2 tablespoons of cornstarch, and I just kind of filled the bowl with a little bit of water. I'd say maybe 1/3 cup of water. And it's just starting to thicken up. I'm going to let it get a little more. Going to let it thicken up a little bit longer, and then I'm going to remove it from heat while I cook the chicken and get that ready for the enchiladas. My sauce has thickened to my liking, so I'm going to remove it from heat. Now that I've removed it from the heat, I'm going to walk you over to this side so you can watch me dice a little bit of the onion because it's always good to see a little bit of prep. I do want to talk about the mushroom and zucchini prep because I'm going to cut the mushrooms a little differently than I normally would. I want to keep a thickness to the how I slice the zucchini. So we'll travel. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to slice the onion and I'm going to put it in the bowl because I'm going to get the vegetables prepped and get the vegetables in the oven while I start cooking the chicken and the onion for the enchiladas. So it's kind of in my mind the order that I'm doing it because it makes it easier for me. Because the vegetables you can always reheat after you've taken them out of the oven. You can let them sit and then reheat them when you're ready to eat. So I've peeled my onion. I'm using half an onion because, again, I always feel that recipes often add too much of things. So I prefer less. I think less is more because it's that nice subtle flavor and you're not overwhelmed with garlic and onion. So I like to slice my onion just long ways. I don't like to dice them for these kind of dishes because I like to bite into the onion. So I'm going to just slice it thin. And again, if you want to dice it, dice it. Do how you like. You do you. So I've sliced my onion. I'm going to take it over there and let it sit, and I'm going to work on the mushrooms and the zucchini. First, I'm going to slice my zucchini. I have 2 nice sized zucchinis here. I slice off both ends. I slice them lengthwise, and then I like the half moon, and I slice them a little on the thicker side. And I put them on the pan that is lined with foil. I think I find the whole prep process soothing. The planning to the prepping and the cutting and getting ready and then the actual cooking. I think that's why I like it so much. And I think that's why I like doing in-home cooking classes so much because I like to help you bring your inner chef out. And I hope I inspire you to do some cooking. Mexican's always fun. I enjoy Mexican cooking a lot. I've gotten better with my Asian cooking. I'm going to try a couple other dishes coming. I'll probably try some for you guys too, like I have been. I've gotten pretty good at Mexican. Mexican's one of my better styles of cooking. I do want to work on Indian food. And then I like to work on Middle Eastern food. I think that's yummy and healthy. I don't know, all kinds of cultures. I love history. I love food. I get the best of all worlds. I get to talk to people, which I like doing. Now that the zucchini's chopped, I'm going to work on the mushrooms. So it is true, you need to just wipe the mushrooms off. Do not use water. Just wipe the dirt off as best as you can. It's okay, you'll survive. It's not the end of the world. I remember when I was younger, way younger, before I even really started diving into cooking, I read a book. It was a fictional story. I forget what it was about, but the main character was a woman who was on a home shopping network, and she was tasked to do a cooking segment, and she failed miserably, but everybody found it so funny that she kept doing the shows on it. It was a funny story. I always think about that. I like things like that. It's cool. It's funny. You will never get them to look like they do on TV, so don't bother. Just really do the best you can. I do find portobello mushrooms don't quite have as much soil and dirt on them as other mushrooms. Well, I should say button mushrooms. Button mushrooms seem to have a lot I think the shiitake or porcini, they don't have too much either, for whatever reason. So I'm going to quarter my mushrooms. It's a fun shape. As I'm doing this, I'm thinking in my head because I want to talk about the rice cooker, the rice in the rice cooker. And my mind travels. It's ridiculous. I was thinking about how I was going to say one thing that I do with the rice, but I don't do with the rice. I just do. So I have to tell myself one thing that I do. So when I walk over there, I will tell you what I do. The rice cooker was one of the best purchases I ever made. Really, there's no burning, there's no mess. It's easy. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 cleanup. I highly recommend if you eat rice a lot at your house, or even not a lot. If you eat rice, that is one culinary tool, cookware item you should definitely have. I know most people kind of shy away from mushrooms. You either really like them or you don't. If you can learn to like a food, mushrooms are amazing and they're really good for you. So I highly recommend learning to like them. Pour generously with mushrooms because they soak up all of the olive oil. So you got to really make sure that you get a good coating, and you don't want them to be dry because they won't, you don't want them to be dry because they won't taste good. So you want to keep them moist. This is the most X-rated cooking show. Actually, it's probably not. Now that I've coated with olive oil, I'm going to add my seasoning. I am adding ground mustard. So, getting some ground mustard. So yummy. Some granulated garlic. Anytime I hear a k like that, I think of Ron White. He's a comedian. And I remember watching one of his specials, and he, I forget what he was doing and what he was drinking. He had his whiskey or bourbon or whatever he drinks in his glass. And it was something about drinking. He was making a joke, and he was like, or being, I don't know whether it was being dressed or whatever it was, but he always said, he said, you can't do this in public. And it was just like that. So every time I hear that, I think of that. It was funny. That was a funny comedy special. We love comedy specials. We just saw, I got Brian for his birthday. I got him tickets. We went to Hershey and we saw Joe Coy at the Hershey Theater. I'm going to add some salt now. And that was really nice. That was the first time we'd actually been to the Hershey Theater, both of us. And that was his first time seeing like a well-known, famous comedian live. So that was fun. That was a fun event. It was very funny. Joe Coy was funny as usual. It was a good night. We ate Italian. That was a good restaurant too. I don't remember the name. Our waiter was really nice too. I liked our waiter. I should give a review. I'm bad with that. Speaking of reviews, please make sure to keep reviewing on Spotify and on Facebook. You can add a review, or I don't know on Instagram if you can add a review, but you can add a review for Marni's Kitchen, add a review for HUMA Beats and Eats. Either one would be great. Both would be phenomenal because it helps make me more recognized, or make the show more recognized, and it helps boost what I'm trying to do for you guys. So please continue to do that for me. Okay, I'm going to mix these with my hands. See, in like an in-home cooking class, I'd give everybody a couple mushrooms, a little bit of zucchini if they wanted to slice it. I'd give them a little bit of chicken if they wanted to dice it. So everybody gets to do something if you want. Or you can just sit, drink, and watch, and I can talk. So for the vegetables, I've preheated my oven to 375 degrees. I'm going to put them in the oven. I want to put a little more olive oil. See, that's the great thing about this is it's just not enough. If it looks a little dry, make it a little more wet. That's what she said. All right. Stop it, Marnie. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to put it in the oven. And 15, 20 minutes, give or take. We'll see. So I'm going to get ready to make the chicken for the enchiladas. Going to cook the onion first. Then I'm going to add the chicken. I'm going to add a little salt and pepper and some diced chilies and tomatoes from the can because that's okay. I like Rotel the best. All right, I'm going to use avocado oil because avocado oil has a higher heat resistance and the metal pans get hot on the stovetop. When we moved here, I had to readjust to this stove and I didn't realize it burned hotter. So I had olive oil in there and I didn't have it like real hot, but I had it like I normally do and in the metal and it started burn. Oh, it was a mess. So I've learned. Okay, so I'm going to put it on medium high heat. I'm going to try not to use the fan, but I might have to. So if I have to use the fan, I will try to remember to turn it off. Like I forgot though one time when I'm talking. So I'm going to let that heat up. And while I'm waiting, I can show you the enchilada sauce. It's a beautiful color. It's like a chocolatey brown color. It's really pretty. I do have a little cheat too. We love taco sauce. So I haven't tasted it yet. I'm gonna. And then if I feel like we need to add a little bit, we add a little bit because we like taco sauce. My oil was hot enough, so I added the onion and you can hear it sizzle. Sizzle, sizzle. So just let that cook. And then I'm going to add the chicken and salt, pepper, the chilies with the tomatoes and let that cook until the chicken is done. And in my, not haste, in my desire, well, actually, really, it's not in my desire. It's just my train of thought. I'm all over the place. If you know me, you know me. So it's kind of like when people post on Facebook, if you know, you know. So when you're watching me, if you know me, you know. You understand and you know. And you give me grace and you're patient. So I'm going to tell you what I do with the rice. So the rice finished. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to turn it off because we're not ready for it yet. But I'm going to fluff it with a fork. I don't let it sit. I like to fluff it and let it stay in the rice cooker fluffed because that way it can all sit, doesn't burn at the bottom. Not that it burns, but my rice cooker is old and I think it's starting to need some help. That's what I wanted to tell you that I do. This is fun. I haven't really done a show like this in a while. I'm going to do more. You're going to have more coming your way. It's very exciting, isn't it? All right, so I'm going to let my onion cook. Saute a couple minutes. I'm going to put the fan on for a little bit. I do periodically check on the mushrooms and the zucchini. I go by sight, not by time. I just told you a time because I think that's roughly about how long it takes, but that's why I say give or take. I'm really waiting to see the zucchini just start to brown a little bit. All right, the onion is starting to brown, so I'm going to add my chicken. So see, so dice it how you like. We like bigger pieces, so it's okay. You do how you like to do it. And I'm going to put my chicken in. And I'm going to wash my hands. So now I'm going to add my chilies and diced tomatoes as well. And I'm going to let it cook until the chicken gets cooked. I turn the fan down. So I'm going to start grating cheese while I let that cook. See, you do it. There's a time to do everything. So now it's time for the assembly. My chicken is cooked. See, nice and pretty. I have my enchilada sauce and I have shredded my cheese. If you use shredded cheese already, that's fine. I've decided when I can, I prefer to shred it myself. And I've really been liking Boar's Head, Vermont cheddar, and Colby Jack cheese right now for my Mexican dishes. Although I do know a lot of places use mozzarella, which is good too. You need to grease a 9x13 pan. I used butter. That's what we like. It's like an assembly line. You're going to put a little spoonful of sauce. You're going to put your chicken and your cheese and roll them up. And you're going to continue to do so until you get as much as you can. And then you're going to pour sauce over the top. I'll show you. I still got to make my drink. Oh, I take a long time. So I put the sauce on. Probably can't see. See, I put the sauce on. Now I'm going to put my chicken. Put as much as you can fit. Don't overfill it, but don't underfill it. Try not to anyway. I'm going to get a little bit of that guy. All right, and then you're going to put, we like a lot of cheese. That's why I left that out in case I needed to add more. Put a generous amount of cheese, handful, and then you fold. This is not my forte, but I learned a little bit at HUMA how to fold, and I kind of do okay. There, yep, see, and you fold. So you got to try to move the, and put seam side down in your pan, in your dish. I'm going to put it here because he wants to roll. Put it on that side. You just kind of go with them. Do whatever they want. I learned that at HUMA that you have to, you don't want to put too much, but you have to like pull it towards you, pull the filling towards you as you're starting to fold your tortilla or wrap or whatever you're making. So there we go. Keep going until you run out of tortillas or you or use up all your chicken. I just realized I forgot to add the salt and pepper. So, but that's okay. It'll be fine. My mind. I'm always thinking about a million things. All right. Look. Okay. So as you're turning, you probably can't see. As you're turning, you start folding in the sides. And then you roll it. And you get a nice little tortilla or enchilada. So I had some smaller wraps or tortillas left, so I used them. I'm going to pour my sauce, the remaining sauce, over because that's how you serve the enchiladas, nice and saucy. Try to spread it. Spread it and forget it. Okay. Yum. All right. And then I'm going to sprinkle extra cheese on top. actually going to I only have a little bit left, so I'm just going to pack it in there. We can get a little extra. I do have green onion to garnish the enchiladas with, if you like them. So I will use that. I'm going to put this in the oven for about 20 minutes until the tortillas get a little crispy and the cheese melts a little bit more. At about 10 minutes in, I'm going to put the vegetables back in and warm them up. And while that's all happening, I'm going to attempt the margarita. I think I could use a drink, don't you? Okay, so I'm going to attempt to make the margarita. Don't have fresh lime juice, so I'm going to use the Rose's sweetened lime juice. If you've been watching me from the beginning, I used this before and I didn't like to drink it. But I'm going to try again, so I'm going to use that. So I have blue agave syrup. I have Jose Cuervo blue agave gold tequila and triple sec and lime and salt and the whole kit and caboodle. So we're going to give it a whirl. All right. I'm going to rub the lime along the rim of the glass. Pretty green glass. I thought that would look nice. And then I'm going to put it on the salt. Oh, it's stuck. I always get happy when things work. Okay. Then it said to fill it with ice. So I'm going to put a little bit of ice in the glass. It's 1 ounce of everything and then a half an ounce of the agave syrup. It's about 1 ounce, a little shot, I think. Whoop. Stay. And I'm going to put some ice in my shaker. So I'm going to measure because if I don't, it'll taste like crap. So even if I do measure, it might still taste like crap. But at least I tried. All right, 1 ounce of that. 1 ounce of triple sec. It's been a while since I used it. So we don't really make drinks. Should start. Probably not. It's probably better off not starting. Right. 1 ounce of the lime juice. And then a half an ounce of the agave syrup. I'm going to eyeball it because I'm not messing with. Whoop. Okay, that looks like half to me. Okay. The last time I did this, it got everywhere, so we'll see. I don't know how long to shake for, so I'm just trying to. All right, that feels good. Oh, it smells good. Probably doesn't taste good. There we go. Whoop. So, I don't know if I'm light. I followed the directions. All right. Cheers. I'm going to try it. We'll see. That's good. That's good. I made a margarita. Yay, me. All right. So I will leave all recipes, links to recipes, and all recipes on there. I will take pictures of the finished products and how everything's plated. I hope you enjoyed this. Look forward to Marshall's interview. It really is wonderful. It's interesting. It's a different take. He's only about 32 years old, and he's got a wealth of experience. So it's just very interesting to see from his perspective about the music scene and what it's like with original songs, right? Original songwriting and just his insight and input into the music industry. So please keep an eye out for that. As always, continue to like, subscribe on YouTube, leave 5-star review on Spotify would be very nice. It's easy to do in the beginning. You just click on the 3 dots, and at the top of you'll see the show name, Huma Beats and Eats, and you click on the 3 dots, and you can leave me a 5-star review. Please continue to give feedback. Just keep watching, keep cooking. Let me know how things are going, and I look forward to seeing what you do on Cinco de Mayo. All right, cheers, Huma.